At last, it's time to get freaky. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. Guys, it's time for episode number 33 of the News Freaks. What's going on? I'm the Eddie, the Ed Man. Yes, here's Terry.
It's me, Terry.
Yeah.
Your old pal.
Yes, I almost didn't recognize you.
I know, man. I had to get out of town for a little while. That's why, for the delay, I saw that MTV was coming out with they were thinking of producing a show called Ghosted. And they were going to have all these ladies on that had guys who ghosted them. So I figured I better leave town so that could blow over a little bit.
Oh, but that's if you do that to girls, not to the show.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But we are back now and happy to be here.
We're back, guys. Hopefully everybody's had a good summer. This has been like 7 or 8 weeks that we've been on hiatus. Not ideal, but life has been really busy on my end. I've been up to so much. I just can't even. We need a whole hour podcast just to let you know what I've been going.
That's all right. We're back just in time for the hurricane.
Oh, exactly. We are here in Jacksonville, Florida. A lot of our longtime listeners know, and we are expecting a tropical storm / possible Cat 2, Cat 3 hurricane. Dorian going to visit us this weekend.
Dorian Gray, yeah, is headed right towards us. Also, according to the maps that I'm looking at, it is just almost a straight shot right to us. But how can they know? I don't think it's going to hit us. Do you think it's going to hit us?
Well, you know what? I think it's going to hit us, but I mean,
I think it's going to veer right and hit the Carolinas.
Exactly like we get at 4:30, 5 o'clock every afternoon here, just for a couple days.
It never hits us.
No,
it's
actually,
go north.
It did a couple years ago. It got us pretty good for those 2 or 3 days. I forget which one that one was, but I'm not overly concerned about this one.
You don't even remember it.
The first
it's
one.
a breeze.
Yeah, I know. Once you go through your
Strong
first
breeze.
1 or 2 here, you're good. You're going to be away this weekend anyways, aren't you? You're not?
No, I'm here in Jacksonville.
Oh, you're staying again. Yeah. Okay. So those plans have been canceled. But anyways, guys, it's been a while. Like we said, we hope you've enjoyed your July and most all of your August, but we did scramble to get a show in here in August just so we could say we had one. And also, I want to wish my mom a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday.
It is her birthday, and I hope she's having a good one. Well, she's probably, what time is it? No, she'll probably still be up. We're doing one of our nighttime Wednesday studio sessions, Ed.
Yeah.
The studio's quiet.
It's nice to be back in the old studio here and
it is, guys.
Rocking.
We've appreciated you listening for the time that we've gone, but we're going to try not to make it so long since we see you next time.
Because it's awkward sometimes.
I don't
we
think
see you
it's
again,
awkward.
it's a little awkward.
Oh, I think it's okay.
Because, you're wondering where we've been.
It's okay. They're like, wow, Terry, have you lost weight? Have you got a good tan? I'm like, nope. And then, we're right back. But anyways, guys, that number, we still got the number active, right, Ed? We didn't lapse on the payments on that, right?
No, that's still going on.
Okay, 904-300-2475 if you want to drop us a line. Say hello, welcome us back, give us any feedback or any ideas as to what we might be able to talk about in future shows.
The only thing that's changed is that our hair is now completely gray.
I mean, well, 1 out of 2 of us.
The audience is a little older. We're all a little older now.
Yeah, you can catch us also on Twitter at NewsFreaksPod, and we're on Facebook, The News Freaks, and then, of course, anywhere you listen to your podcast, your platform, whichever your preferred one is. We're on Spotify, Stitcher. I do have a favor to ask someone. If you do listen to us on Apple Podcast, I really need you to either write us a review or send us a email or text and let us know that we're up and active on there, because I have Android, so I never check, and I always forget to ask my listener friends that do have Apple if we have it or not, if we're on there.
Yeah, we're on there.
I'm hoping we are, but
we're everywhere.
I haven't seen
the News Freaks, baby.
I haven't seen any good reviews yet, Ed. So I'm a little worried.
Maybe we need to put out some higher quality work.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna try starting right now.
Yes.
Right now. We're no excuses. No excuses. So Labor Day weekend. Hopefully everybody's got some great plans coming up for this weekend. Like we said, we may be hunkered down and trying not to blow away here in Florida, but this is a great time of year. I love this time of year, and I don't have any children, but all the children go back to school, so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's the time when, and I'm a big sports fan, so baseball really ramps up into its playoff push. And those of you listeners that know, I'm a Mets fan. we made a great comeback this summer, and we're only like 3 games out of a playoff spot. But as I was coming in here tonight, I saw that we were getting absolutely smoked tonight by the Cubs. So maybe we're losing steam. I don't know. Also, football season, Ed, man, I know you're not a big football fan, but that's going to kick off a week from tomorrow, Thursday night, the 5th.
I like football.
Yeah.
I just don't follow it or have anything to do with it at all.
The 100th season of the NFL is going to kick off next Thursday.
The big 100.
Yeah, Chicago Bears are going to host the Green Bay Packers there for that one. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
I wonder if they're going to pull out any old stars for the.
I think they're going to have some kind of big pregame event. You know,
what was happening? So this is 2019. What was happening 100 years ago? Oh, I guess we could see in your trivia.
In our random facts later on in the episode. Edman, like I said, it is a great time of year. I think everybody's kind of, we here in Florida, we're kind of heated out, like we're overheated. We're ready for it to get a little bit cooler here.
And it's too bad because of the hurricane coming. There's no water left on the shelves at the stores except for that Dasani stuff. Nobody buys that, but everything else is gone.
Yeah, it's true.
All other liquids are.
But I do like this time of year. It's always nice as it starts to get a little cooler. We get into fall, and I am a football fan, and I know a lot of people down here they're excited for the Jaguars to get things rolling again.
The Jaguars.
Yeah, man. Nick Foles, they signed in the offseason, so he's going to take over the helm from Blake Bortles, our old buddy for the last couple of years here. But I am a Giants fan, so I'm fully expecting another year full of misery.
So what's the deal with this new dude?
He's good. He won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with the Eagles.
He did.
He led the Eagles to victory over the Patriots.
Why didn't he stay with those guys?
Yeah, well, he was actually a backup QB with the Eagles.
Oh, really?
The regular starter had gotten hurt during the season, and he took over and led them on
to victory.
Led them to victory. Yeah. So he
Hopefully
knows
the same for
he knows
us.
his stuff. Edman, and if you got small children listening, you might want to cover their ears real quick here. He has a moniker from apparently what he's shown in the locker room. They like to call him Big Dick Nick.
And incidentally, if you have small children listening to the show, you're probably not headed in the right direction with them anyway.
Yeah, this is true. I don't know if that was a extra reporter that gave him that or teammate, but anyways, he's got a little bit of a reputation in that area there, so we're gonna have to buy a bigger size cup for old Nick there. But anyways, I'm super excited. Football is awesome. I've been a huge fan since I was a little kid, and I can't wait for that to kick off. Know what else is gonna happen in a couple Thursdays? Not next Thursday because I don't want to compete with the NFL, but the Thursday after, going to be the next Democratic debate, Edman.
Oh, now that I will follow.
Yeah, and you know what? They think, as of right now, and unless something amazing happens, there's only going to be 10 candidates left, and they're all going to be on one stage on the same night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you know who is
pretty impressive.
Now, they've got Joe Biden, and now they've got Bernie Sanders, and he also coincidentally has the same nickname. Big Dick Bernie Sanders. Big Dick Bernie.
I'm going to have to verify that with the intern. We still kept her on the payroll these last 7 weeks, didn't we? I'm not sure. But anyways, the 10 candidates we're looking at who have they have gotten the two things that you needed to get. You needed the certain level of donations and then 2% or more polling, right?
Well, the polls have to be Democratic, approved by the DNC, which sucks because you're screwing Tulsi out of being in the
and Marianne Williamson as well, probably.
Although when it comes to screwing Tulsi, I wouldn't mind.
And our listeners remember that from the last couple shows here. Well, anyways, here's our candidates we're looking for on the Democratic side.
Nothing's changed in a month.
Nothing has changed, you guys. It's like seriously, this is like when you have friends and you fall out of touch for a couple months and you pick right back up where you left off. That's us to you guys.
True.
That's the News Freaks.
It's true.
We're not changing. We're not letting this success go to our head.
That's right.
Ed keeps giving me the numbers every day, and you guys are still listening, even though we're not
now
around.
Let me ask you guys, the audience out there, a serious question, okay? Let me ask you something. What's wrong with you? Because we've been gone forever, and the numbers are building. They can't get enough of the News Freaks. I mean, they're like in the desert.
This is like when an ex,
dying for entertainment.
When an ex or somebody you're pursuing gives you the cold shoulder,
Is that what
it makes
it
you
is?
want them even more. And I think our listeners are clamoring for
News Freaks are playing hard to get.
Not on purpose, though. MTV, if you're still doing that ghosted show, I'm still not in the country, so I'm not available. So the 10 candidates on that one stage is what they're hoping for. It's going to be set in Houston, Texas later in September 12th, actually, Thursday night. It'll be Biden, Liz, Bernie, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Booker, Klobuchar, Beto, Yang, and Castro. Those are the 10 that have successfully gotten through the two. I've been thinking
they should put Tulsi in there just for being good looking.
Well, Tulsi, she doesn't have the 2%
they
threshold
should add
in those DNC
a
polls.
qualifying category.
It's not saying she can't still get it. I think they are going to run another poll before. Oh, it had to be between August 28th, which is today.
No.
So Tulsi, Tom Steyer, and Marianne Williamson are out.
Now, there's plenty of polls she's at 2% and 3%, just not the ones that are DNC approved.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know why the DNC approves only the small polls and not the major polls in many of these cities, but that's none of my business.
No, it isn't. There were 4 guys. Well, there were more. I think there were 6 guys before the noteworthy ones that didn't get either of the two thresholds. Delaney, De Blasio, Tim Ryan, and Bullock. So they're pretty much can call it a wrap.
De Blasio, even though everyone hates him, I thought he did good in the debates. I figured he'd get a bump there.
And then you had 6 drop out completely already. Gillibrand, Gravel, Inslee, Hickenlooper, Moulton, and that first guy there who he's so long I can't even remember his name.
Big
Eric
Dick
something.
Hickenlooper. That's the guy.
Big Dick Hickenlooper. That'd be a great nickname. Maybe if he had campaigned with that, I think he could have got the 2%.
Dickenlooper.
You want change, vote Dickenlooper. Well, anyways, just because why should
still be in the race?
Why should the Democrats have all the fun? There's a couple Republican challengers to Donald Trump.
That is going to be fun.
So, Bill Weld, former Massachusetts governor, that's my home state. He threw his hat in the ring earlier this week, and also this one's pretty funny. You got to admit, Joe Walsh, and not the Eagles, not the Eagles singer.
No, he'd do well.
He's a former Illinois congressman. He is going to challenge Trump in the primary. He lost his conservative radio show in Illinois.
I think challenge is too
it's
strong
a word. Absolutely. He's going to have a tough road. I do like that Joe Walsh was confronted with some of his racist Twitter posts. He says, I probably have said some racist things, but I'm not racist. I said, that's off to a good start.
You have to separate the deeds from the man.
This is true. Well, I guess, he did have that conservative talk show there in Chicago, and I think like 80 to 90% of listeners were Trump supporters, so they just dropped the show completely.
I mean, come on,
it's not
ridiculous.
Not looking good. I don't even know, but it will make for some entertainment value anyways. Also in our intro today, Edman, I don't know if you heard about this, Larry King, a couple days ago, he announced that he was seeking a divorce from his 8th marriage, his 7th wife, Sean Southwick. He's 85 now. And she is, 63, I think? Yeah, they have a 22-year age difference. His health has been rapidly declining this year, apparently. Like, he had stents put in April, a heart scare. He had angioplasty done.
No.
He recently had a cancer lump removed from his lung.
Yeah.
So apparently, according to his family and friends, they can't stand each other. So he wants to get this divorce over, and hopefully he lives long enough to take her out of the will. Is what I'm hearing. Yeah. I guess he'd filed once before in 2010 too, when there was a mix-up as to whether or not Larry might have had an affair with Sean's sister.
Oh well,
And this guy is just
good going, Larry.
He's married 8 times. He married the same lady twice.
Don't call him the king for nothing.
Yeah, she would. Well, I guess this is kind of maybe how you can tell this marriage wasn't fit to last. They married in 1997, King and Southwick there. They wed in his L.A. hospital room 3 days before he underwent open heart surgery to clear a clogged blood vessel. I had mentioned he had been married.
This guy needs to walk around or something.
8 times to 7 different women. One of the woman he married twice, she was a former Playboy bunny named Aline Akins. He does have 5 kids and 9 grandkids in total. Now there could be more wives in King's future though.
Yeah.
I mean, he is 85. His health is failing, but he has revealed multiple times in his book, and I remember an interview with Conan that he said this, that he's going to be cryonically preserved.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Negative 328 degrees Fahrenheit, Edman. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. That's crazy. To live so long is fantastic. I mean, his first wife, Marie Antoinette,
Yeah.
And perhaps his, 20th wife, 7 of 9. Or
But
one of those futuristic.
Yeah, you know what? I actually
people.
This Sean King. I mean, she's called now, but Sean Southwick. She has sat in for him on his show several times, and she does a pretty good job.
Really?
Yeah, she does. He has guest hosts now a lot. He's been having Dennis Miller on a lot, which is like, man, he's really pulling out.
Larry King. I
do
don't
too.
listen to him unless I'm like having trouble sleeping.
On Twitter, he does something on Sunday nights. It's King's Things, and he puts up these little tweets of things that are on his mind, and they're always the funniest thing ever.
He used to do that thing, item.
Yeah, and it'd just be like, there's no better vegetable to me than peas. I mean, it'd just be some random thing that he posts, and they're always hilarious.
I hope he's putting them together in a book.
Should be a compilation.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking. Well, Ed, I don't know. Is there anything else that we have to catch up on? When we left last time, the women's soccer team was on their run. They ended up winning it. They did end up winning the whole thing.
I heard there was a little dispute in pay disparity.
Oh, yes. And we talked about that on that show, I believe, at the beginning of July. Yeah.
I know we talked about them. I don't know if we talked about the pay thing.
Yeah, I think we did. I think we covered that. And we might not have, but yeah, that was.
It's been so long,
I know, 7 weeks. It really it goes by fast, but it goes by slow. It feels like we just did those 4th of July episodes.
They always say time goes by fast. I feel like this last month has taken forever. Not that I mind. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather the illusion of time going. I would rather the illusion of longer life than shorter life.
You would.
But I do feel like this last month has gone by extremely
Whereas for me, I'm just like, come on, let's get it done with already.
Race to death. Good enough. That counts.
The engineer's still a little rusty.
I'm getting back in the swing.
The engineer's still a little rusty.
I had just memorized all the buttons, too.
Hey, that's all right. Well, anyways, Ed, we're going to go to Newsthing number 1. You remember Newsthing
number 1.
Yeah, it's Little League World Series just wrapped up this past weekend.
Is there a pay dispute there, too?
You know what? Those kids, they don't make out all that well, other than the fame and fortune of being on ABC and ESPN.
Well, as long as they're getting some sort of reward.
They get something out of it. Are you kidding me? They eat that stuff up. My hometown.
They pay them in candy.
Pittsfield, Massachusetts. We actually made it to Williamsport, PA a couple years ago. Yeah. Made a little run there. I mean, we didn't win it, but, it's hard to do. It's been held there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania annually every year since 1947. That's a long time.
It's like Larry King time.
Well, this year saw the youngsters from River Ridge, Louisiana, crowned champions.
One of his marriages there.
They won the finale over Wilmstead Curacao 8-0. So they shut them out. They really got them. Now, this is pretty amazing, Little League trivia. The kids from River Ridge, they lost their opening game of the tournament, and they still won it all. That's the first time that's happened since 2001 when they expanded the tournament to 16 teams.
Good for them.
That's pretty impressive because you lose your first one. Now you're in sudden death kind of matches, baseball games the whole rest of the way. So that is pretty impressive. This kid for this team in Louisiana, Reese Russell, he had 17 hits in 23 times up. That is very, very difficult to do. That's a Little League World Series record.
I feel like I could do that.
No, Ed, you couldn't. You could maybe contact the ball 17 times in 20, but to actually get a single, double, home run, a triple, that's very difficult.
Well, I'm using the same equipment that they use,
and the same against
players.
The same kids. Yeah, I got it. Marshall Loke, there was another kid on the team too. He went 3 for 3 in the championship game. Finished the tournament with a record-setting 7 doubles. So this team had some offense to it.
Got chops.
Also noteworthy, Maddie Freaking became the 19th girl to ever play in the Little League World Series this year. She was freaking good, I can tell you that. Coon Rapids, Minnesota is where she represented. But I do remember a couple years ago, 2014, there was a phenom pitcher for Philadelphia. Her name was Monet Davis, and she was the first black girl ever to play in the Little League World Series. She also became the first ever player to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated while a Little League player.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. That happened 5 years ago. She at age. So
how old was she?
Well, in the Little League World Series, you got to be between 10 and 12. You can't quite be 13 by the time the tournament starts. So she was throwing because she was a pitcher for that team in Philadelphia.
That sucks to hit like the pinnacle of your career at
Yeah.
like
Well, she
11 or
probably
whatever, 12.
cashed in on it. I'm sure she got endorsements and things like that because I do remember seeing her on like Adidas or Nike commercials or something. So she may have, but she was throwing 70 miles an hour back then, which equivalent to major league distance would be 93 mile an hour fastball.
Oh my goodness.
So she was blowing these boys away,
Yeah.
right? And she had a great curveball to go along with it as well. First girl ever to win a game. Not only did she win, she threw a complete game shutout, striking out 8 hitters and winning 4-0 in one of the games that year. It actually remains still the most watched game in Little League World Series history on ESPN. Forevermore, probably. I did check up on what she's doing now. She's actually watching videos of her 2014 Little League World Series performance.
Living in the past.
I'm only kidding. Monet actually committed to Hampton University. She is going to play softball there. I'm sure she's got some sort of scholarship, and she'll be starting there next month.
Maybe she'll make another
Hampton.
cover.
I don't know. I mean, these girls in softball, they get pretty darn good too. They end up making all kinds of tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned before, little league World Series trivia here. Starting in 1976, that's when they switched it to 2 brackets where they would have 8 international teams, 8 United States teams, so they would guarantee that a U.S. team would make the finals.
Good.
That's kind of why they did
going.
that.
Yeah,
because I don't think many casual Little League fans are going to watch if it's 2 countries that own it.
We don't want that.
Speaking of owning it, Taiwan actually owns the most championship titles in history of the tournament. They won 17 times. They've won it. They went on a huge run. I think it was like in the 90s.
As many times as that kid hit the ball.
I remember, yeah, it is actually. I remember there used to be a Nintendo game, Little League Baseball, Little League World Series Baseball, and me and my dad and my brothers used to play it, and you always wanted to be Taiwan or Japan. I mean, those kids were kicking the crap out of us.
Who made the cover of that?
Some probably stereotypical
some rando
Asian person, a little Asian kid, because Tokyo, Japan won 5 times this decade. They had a good run, 11 times overall. As far as the states here in the U.S., California has the most titles with 7, followed by Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New Jersey with 4 each. Very surprising that New York didn't make that list to me.
I'm shocked.
The tournament, because they make every list.
Just kidding. I don't know
right? Little League Baseball, they would make any list. So, anyways, the tournament has not been without controversy, however.
Oh, no.
Yeah, back in 2000.
What controversy could there possibly be?
I'm going to let you know, Ed. Back in 2014, the team from Chicago, Illinois, won the U.S. bracket before losing the title game to Seoul, South Korea. But they were stripped of that championship after Donald Trump said, "You came from the same place as Barack Obama. We can't have you in it." Totally. That wasn't.
That sounds like all the other news, Tara. I thought we were the real news.
My notes were wrong. Sorry, that is fake news, everybody.
Fake news.
It actually happened that it was deemed in February of the next year, 2015, that they'd used ineligible players. So basically, the age thing came into play.
Oh, wow.
They've changed what the stipulations were as far as the age. Right now, as of right now this year, if you are not 13 before August 31st, you can play.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happens if you start and you're eligible, but then you end up not eligible?
That's the cutoff right now, and I know it's switched over the last 10, 20 years, but that's what it is right now.
Could you imagine being the kid who loves that stuff and then you miss it by a day?
Yeah, that would hurt. So that 2014 U.S. title actually got stripped from the Chicago, Illinois team, and it went to Las Vegas, made a lot of the gamblers happy that it put their future bets on the Vegas team, eh? But the scandal best known in Little League history is probably that from 2001. Okay, it was the team from the Bronx. They rode the pitching arm of standout Danny Almonte to a 3rd place finish in the 2001 Little League World Series. So they didn't even win it that year. They actually came in 3rd place because Almonte couldn't pitch the game against the team that eventually won it because he'd already pitched a complete game before, and there's pitching limits on these kids' arms because they're so little and they don't want to mess them up for life.
Yeah.
So they have all these rules. Anyways, Almonte was throwing upwards of 77 miles an hour, which is like 102, 103 miles an hour, major league. He was 5'8". They called him, they called him Little Unit, which is a nod to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Johnson, who went by the nickname Big Unit. Huh. That's a good nickname, huh?
Yeah, these are all good
Big
nicknames
Dick,
today.
Big Unit. I mean, we got some big nicknames.
I'll bet some kids would have loved to listen to this part of the News Freaks.
Well, anyways, Almonte went on to throw the first perfect game in the tournament since 1979. A perfect game, Ed, man, I know you're not a baseball fan. Little League, they play 6 innings, so that's 18 batters up, 18 down without a hit, a walk, an error, anything.
Yeah.
Okay? So
impressive.
In case you were wondering, they do have mercy rules in these tournaments in case a team is just whooping the crap out of the other kids as well. Yeah, if they're up by 15 runs or more after 3 innings, or 10 runs or more after 4 innings, they say no mas.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't let a team just get bludgeoned.
Why not?
I mean, I'm
got
sure
to
they
learn.
used to. You guys stink. You want to see how bad? 25-0, 37.
And I mean, look, there could be a comeback.
You never know. They're having comebacks.
You never know.
But at that age, I think they're demoralized. They're all crying. I mean, there's a lot of crying in Little League Baseball. Tom Hanks famously said in A League of Their Own, there's no crying in baseball. Right. There's a lot of crying in Little League Baseball. I played Little League Baseball. I remember a lot of tears.
But you come out of the other end stronger.
You do. And I guess I use the term played. I played pretty loosely. I mean, I love baseball. I love the game of baseball. I like the thinking aspect. I wasn't so much into the physical aspect of it,
And the things like that are good for you. I remember what knocked me out of sports was when I was a kid, right? I tried to play one of these baseball type games or whatever. Anyway, I saw on TV that you can slide, right? So I slid to first base. And apparently that's a big no-no because all in shorts, right? And so all the kids started yelling at me and making fun of me. And I was like, I'm not really good at this.
Now, there are circumstances where you will slide into first to try to beat out.
Is that true? I wish I knew that.
But they say that you really should run through the bag because the time you take to get into your slide, you would have been faster running.
Yeah, but I mean, what's going to look cooler?
I mean, so you were trying to get that.
I was trying to get up as much dust as possible.
Did you get that raspberry on the back of your hamstring there? That really, really kills.
As a kid, I was fine.
It sucks.
I probably couldn't do it now.
I was always getting injured.
Tearing something.
Well, back to the Little Unit.
And I'm next to Larry King in the hospital.
Danny Almonte. Get this. That year, 2001, he faced 72 batters, and he struck out 62 of them. The team they were national celebrities. They were nicknamed the Baby Bombers because they call the Yankees the Bombers, the Bronx Bombers. Yeah. And they played in the shadow of Yankee Stadium. And former Mayor Giuliani gave the team the key to the city. So they were really basking in the glow of this momentous thing that they went through.
Yeah, if I was a kid, I probably really would protest this habit of naming them after adults.
Oh, okay.
If they look, man,
they call them Baby Bombers.
I'm my own kid. I'm not trying to copy the.
So you would have tried to come up with the Bronx Bombers, or what the Yankees are called.
Yeah,
you would want something
don't
different.
Put that on.
You don't want the Baby Bombers.
I'm my own man.
Okay, cool. So, anyways,
I give this trophy right back.
Almonte's imposing presence and command on the mound got the rumor mill started, and several teams hired private investigators. And ESPN reporters even launched their own investigation after the tournament concluded. Almonte's parents insisted he was born in 1989, which would have made him 12 and eligible. Well, it turned out when all the investigations were said and done, his birth certificate was actually 2 years off. He was almost 15 years old.
Whoa.
Blowing these 10 and 11-year-olds away with his fastball. So the Baby Bombers had all of their wins stripped away from the entire tournament.
Oh, no.
Removed from the books.
Oh, no.
They charged Danny's dad with falsifying a birth certificate because they did it
he deserved that,
so he could play. Banned for any Little League events for life. Now, Danny barely spoke any English.
Well, he wasn't qualified anyway at that point.
Not anymore.
That's
it was
not
over.
Punishment.
So Danny was cleared of any wrongdoing. He really didn't know. He didn't speak much English. He didn't know that his dad had done this. He was just like, I can play. I'm pretty good at this baseball here.
Yeah,
so
beating
I can
all
play.
These little kids.
Yeah. Well, Almonte went on to play some college baseball baseball, independent and semi-pro
Wait, he was
leagues.
15?
He was.
And he
almost
didn't know.
15, yeah. He was.
I don't believe that.
And a lot of times in the Dominican, they do these weird things with these birth certificates where people don't learn their real age till they're adults. I see this all the time in, especially baseball.
Is that why my mother keeps claiming that she was 18 when she had me?
Probably. Honestly, Edman, you should get your birth
Because I know
certificate
that's
looked
not
at.
possible.
It is possible. Well, Almonte, like I said, he went on to play some independent semi-pro leagues before his arm did eventually give out in 2009. He's now an assistant baseball coach at Cardinal Hayes High School there in New York City.
Now, what do you mean gave out? Like he just wasn't good anymore, or he tore
got,
something?
Yeah, he got dead arm. He couldn't pitch anymore, so he tried to move to the outfield.
Can he just use his other hand or something?
I mean, they had him firing fastballs all tournament long. He was striking out 72 guys when he was 15. It screwed him for life. So
he's like, guys, I gotta use my left hand just in case something happens to my right hand.
But anyways, Ed, I wanted to bring that up for the listeners that might have missed that, and also to get our thinking caps on for next year. Maybe we could sponsor a team or coach a team. I know my brother does for his son's team.
You know what? I love that idea.
That'd be great, right? We could
but
go to the
only
games
if they name themselves the News Freaks. The Little Freaks.
Lil, L-I-L.
The Little Freaks.
L-I-L.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, boy.
I don't understand that. I fixed that thing.
Man, this thing's
Or
rusty,
maybe I
too.
didn't. It was a month ago.
This thing's rusty, too. Well, Ed, man, we're going to move on to game time.
Game time. Yeah, we do game time, don't we?
We do game time. Yeah. This would have been a good one for us to have a third chair. And by the way, listeners, we have some exciting things coming up for you guys in the next couple episodes. I've got some great third chairs that are going to be coming in the studio. I've got some great interviews lined up in the studio as well. So this is going to be really, really fun. So I'm glad you guys hung in there and stuck with us to get your once bi-monthly dose of
your bi-monthly dose of the News Race.
Well, anyways, Ed, it is game time, and we talked a lot about ages in that last segment, and we also talked a lot about ages with Larry King and his wife. Those May-December romances, Ed, man, you like those, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're supposed to represent the youthfulness and promise of spring with the May. And then the decrepit old man winter of December.
Is that what it's meant to do?
That's what it's meant to do, So, Ed, they say for us schlubs here, we can date somebody half our age plus 7. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
Half your age plus 7 is an acceptable age for us to be dating. So I did my math. I'm going to be looking at about 28-year-old and up is acceptable for me to be dating. Yeah. Which isn't horrible, I don't think. No. I mean, a lot of guys, a lot of us guys get accused of wanting to date much younger and much out of our class. Well, this game time.
Well, it's not that we want to. It's just that we're driven to by our biology.
It's science.
It's not my fault.
Science. We look at a 25-year-old and we see fertility, and it's just a scientific fact. And also, they're hotter.
25.
Yeah,
I guess that's.
I was reading. I shit you not, guys. I read an AARP article on this on May-December romances, and they did say that in that 24, 25, 26 range, we look at a woman and she, to us, scientifically, biologically, seems who we would be drawn to for biological reasons, like we think that she could produce offspring.
Huh.
Very weird, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not typically thinking. I remember in our episode, episode 32, we talked about David Foster and Kat McPhee getting married. He was 69 and she's 34. So that's 35 years. He definitely didn't go for the half your age plus 7.
Good for him.
They said that AARP article too said after 6 to 10 year age gap. The age gap, they say 1 to 7 years is ideal for couples. After 6 to 10 years, if you're in one of these May-December romances, the age gap widens and your satisfaction, it dissolves the relationship. Your dissatisfaction will dissolve the relationship. So at the beginning it's fun for that 5 to 10 year period, and then the age really starts showing itself.
But I mean,
are they talking just sexually?
I think
or are
they're
they
just talking about any relationship.
This is true.
I mean, they might have studied those specifically, but if they had like opened up the study to a broader scope, they've been like, "Hey, this happens with everybody."
Wait a minute. We don't have to put this in just AARP. We can put this in any scientific journal. So anyway, it works for our president and Melania. They've got 24 years between them. Look how happy they are.
You know, you can never tell.
You never can. So, Edman, our game time today, and unfortunately you don't have any help in the studio. Just going to be you. We're going to be doing a May-December romance game time. Going to be talking about some relationships with some bigger age gaps here, okay? I think you should do okay on this one, though. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think you can get it. Here we go. Question number 1. In 2017... what then 45-year-old stand-up comic made tabloid waves when he began dating 19-year-old Kelsey Taylor? Here's another hint for you. He was the second comic ever to sell out Madison Square Garden after Andrew Dice Clay did it. He did it in 2007 at the peak of his
2007
comedy powers.
How old was he?
Well, in 2007, he was 35, and he sold out Madison Square Garden. But in 2017, when he started dating this 19-year-old, they are still together 2 years later, so I mean, it does say something, I suppose, but...
Oh, my God, 19-year-old comedian? Was it Kevin Hart?
That's a good guess. It was not Kevin Hart.
I know he got in trouble for, like, cheating on his lady there.
Yeah, he did, but it was not him.
All right.
It was Dane Cook.
That guy.
Nope, that guy.
Who's keeping tabs on Dane Cook anymore?
Cook. Now, this did remind me, though, of way back in the Wayback Machine, 1993, when our buddy Jerry Seinfeld was almost 40. He was like a month away from being 40, and he met a fresh-faced Shoshana Lowenstein in Central Park. Now, you remember how old she was?
No.
17.
What, 17?
Yeah, she was a high school senior, and they dated but from when she graduated high school till when she graduated college, and then they broke up.
Well, there you go. I mean, the study might be right after all.
That was that 4 or 5 year. But
Jerry's done that to everybody.
This is true.
So is Larry.
Larry
King.
Well, we're gonna find a theme here, and listeners, you're probably gonna sense this too. You're gonna find a lot of guys in this quiz, this game time, that are fairly attractive looking guys with a lot of money that are able to date 15, 20, 30 years out of their age range.
In fact, I don't think the May-December thing works with Larry King because there aren't enough months to go back with.
Oh boy, poor Larry. I hope he makes it through the rest of it. I hope he makes it so that he can get his will
I like Larry
reworked
King.
out. So do I. All right, question number 2. Ed, I got another one about a comedian here. Earlier this year, 25-year-old SNL personality and comedian Pete Davidson licked his wounds after splitting with Ariana Grande by dating 46-year-old actress.
Oh man, and I read this too. I saw this story. I'm not going to remember either.
Well, she was
sucks. Wait a minminute. Wait. Kate?
Yes.
Yes. Beckinsale.
Oh, I mean, Beckinsale. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Very good. So they're 21-year difference
she
on
was
the
like
other
in Matrix
side.
or the Wolf.
She was in an Underworld.
Underworld. That's
Van
what I'm
Helsing.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor, Serendipity. She's very attractive. I have no. And see, this is weird how this works. Women and men, I feel like, don't really have too much of a problem when it's the older woman.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Everyone's like, "Oh, get it, girl," and I feel the same. I'm like, "What the hell?" I mean, she's still good looking. What the hell?
Yeah.
But when it's the older guy, I feel like it's much more socially taboo.
It is. I mean, it's hard to explain.
It is hard to explain. But anyways, she ended up, Kate Beckinsale, that didn't last long. They broke up about 4 months ago. And now Davidson is apparently dating once upon a time in Hollywood star Margaret Qualley. And she's only 24, 25, so back in the same age range.
Yeah.
But Beckinsale actually said in an interview, Ed, which gives us hope, she said, plain out, I really like funny guys.
Yeah, being funny pays off.
It does.
Not money.
Because Pete Davidson, I got to be honest, I think Pete Davidson is a very odd-looking gentleman. So these women that he's landing, I feel like looks wise are out of his class.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you were like working on a car, right, and you're changing your oil and you drop the rag, you look down, it looks like Pete Davidson.
I mean, that might be a little harsh, but anywaes.
Well, to me, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Beckinsale.
Dropped rag.
Beckinsale
Dropped
actually.
Filthy, dirty rag.
After she got divorced from her husband, Len Wisemore, who was a director, she dated for a short time a 21-year-old or 22-year-old Matt Rife as well. So she does kind of like to go younger a little bit
Well,
and then
good
get
for
back.
her.
And yeah, what the hell? I have no issue with this on either side, really.
Yeah.
They're both consenting adults. I say go for it. And if you can still do it, I mean, shit. Here we go. Question number 3. Here's one for you. Ed, you're one for 2 so far. Question number 3, named the number 3 guitarist of all time on Rolling Stone's 100 greatest guitarist list. What 75-year-old founder of Led Zeppelin has been dating his 28-year-old girlfriend, Scarlett Saber, since 2015?
Well, I don't know about this relationship, but I'm going to take a stab and say if I play guitar, I beat Jimmy Page.
You would
the
be.
girls I date are underage.
47-year difference.
Wow.
They've been dating since 2015.
Oh my God. So my future girlfriend isn't even born yet.
I mean, it's scary to think of, isn't it, Ed? Although
You're looking at the cover of the Little League magazine and you go, hey,
man, look at Monet Davis. She's 18 now, so I mean, now maybe I could give up. Look up her email on hamptonuniversity.edu.
This is the worst show.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I apologize, guys. It was just something that I had. Well, anyways, here we go. That list, I mean, well, he's been with the same girl since 2015. Number 1, she was 25 when they started dating. There's 3 years later still together. She's definitely waiting for Mother Nature to kick in here. But I was interested in that guitar list. Who was the top 10 on that list?
Yeah.
10, Pete Townsend from The Who. 9, Dwayne Allman. 8, Eddie Van Halen. 7, Chuck Berry. 6, B.B. King. 5, Jeff Beck. 4 was Keith Richards. 3 was Jimmy Page. 2 was Clapton.
Jimi Hendrix.
And 1 was Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, that was a 2015 Rolling Stone list. So, hey, Jimmy Page, he's not doing bad on either count here.
Mark Knopfler wasn't...
I didn't look at the whole 100.
Okay.
We could look at it after and put an update on after, but I only looked at the top 10 and there. I'm sure he was. So anyways, question number 4. After nearly a decade spent blacklisted in Hollywood... What 63-year-old actor-director made a comeback in 2016 while also welcoming his 9th child in 2017 with his 27-year-old girlfriend?
Wait, he made a comeback in 2016?
He did.
That's recently?
He did. And now
he's Smirnoff still alive?
He's been in a couple movies. This comeback directorial was for Hacksaw Ridge.
We already mentioned Dane Cook, so it can't be that dude.
Hacksaw Ridge was the movie that he kind of made his directorial. He's been in a couple movies lately. Daddy's Home 2 he was in recently with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. He had a meltdown where he had said a lot of anti-Semitic and racist things in the 2000s. So he kind of got blacklisted in Hollywood for a while.
That would do it. Wait, it's an actor? I thought you said a comedian.
Actor-director, yeah.
Oh, that's got to be Mel Gibson.
It is Mel Gibson. Yeah, his girlfriend, Rosalind Ross, she's 27, 63. So, I mean, there you go. He made plenty of mistakes in his life, right?
Did he?
I mean,
some good movies.
He did make some good movies.
He talks some... You wouldn't want to be around him when he's been drinking.
Ed, I'm very surprised here. You're 3 out of 4 on this one so far. You like these May December relationships. What's? I was trying to think what the. And I don't want to.
My field of expertise.
I don't want to sound like a chauvinist here, but I did date a 24-year-old a couple years ago when I was 30, almost 38.
Yeah.
That was my biggest gap. That was about a 13-year age group. And once when I was in my 30s, I dated someone who was about 40 or so. So that was a decade thing. But I don't know. That's not so bad. I don't. It's not. We're not talking like 20s or 30s like these guys.
Yeah.
So here we go. Question number 5. This 58-year-old comedian actor has been dating 40-year-old Australian model Paige Butcher since 2012 and also recently announced He will be coming back to host the SNL Christmas episode this year.
No, he's just going to be on SNL.
He's going to be hosting
He's not
it.
necessarily a comedian.
It'll be his first time in 35 years that he will be doing SNL, and he's going to do the December 21st
So
Christmas
he'd been on
episode.
SNL before?
He was a cast member of
Australian?
No, he's dating an Australian model, Paige Butcher. They have 2 kids together, actually. They've been dating since 2012. He's 58, she's 40.
SNL? Oh, wait. Just say the whole thing again. No, just kidding.
He recently announced he will be coming back to host SNL first time in 35 years for their Christmas episode this year.
35 years. And it's not Eddie Murphy.
It is Eddie Murphy.
It's Eddie Murphy.
You said Eddie Murphy for the Mel Gibson one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's Eddie Murphy.
I thought you would give me some kind of like a facial tick or something there.
I had to keep it.
Your
I had to keep
poker
it calm.
face is really excellent.
He's also in talks with Netflix for a $70 million stand-up special.
God.
Well, Chappelle's new one just came out on Netflix a couple days ago. He's gotten $20 mil for all 3 of those each, so $60 mil.
So I haven't seen
Comedy's big business, man.
All right. Are these all no, they're not all comedians.
Chris Rock,
One or
he
two.
made $40 million on his 2 Netflix specials. Amy Schumer made $13 million on hers.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We need to get on it.
We
Tara.
need to get on it, man. We're piddling around in the
know-
studio
you
doing
know what
a
we ought to
podcast
do.
here.
You know what we ought to do?
Yeah.
We ought to do a Laurel and Hardy type thing. We ought to do like one of those comedy duos. I haven't seen that in a
Well,
little
where
while.
the hell were you for the Little League segment? We could have been on it, man. What's wrong with you? Just a day late and $1 short.
Let's make a bit together, you and me, and then we'll go perform at one of these stupid clubs.
Man, might as well. I mean, I see improv.
Do you hear?
Stuff
I'm ready for the rejection. I'm like calling them stupid clubs, right? Just in case they don't like me.
Well, Terry, those clubs are.
I didn't want to go
asinine.
there anyway.
They're so
all
amateur.
jerks.
Ugh, they wouldn't know talent if it hit them upside the head.
Right. Why did they like our Little League comedy act?
Boy, Ed, this is very telling. This is one of your best game times ever.
That's
Maybe you just
amazing.
needed 2 months off to get the brain going again. That old sponge is working like
right.
a new dime now. Okay, here we go. Question number 6. 74-year-old Michael Douglas has been married to this 49-year-old actor since 2000.
I think I know this one.
They have 2 kids. They have 2 kids together. She was in Traffic, and she won an Oscar for Chicago.
Yes, okay. I know that my girl is a big fan of this lady here. Oh my God, if I don't remember the name, I'm going to be so upset, man. Come on.
Yeah, they've been together for a while.
She's in Zorro, right?
Yes, she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, come on.
They separated briefly in 2013. You're on the right
Is it
track.
Catherine. Oh my goodness, what can that last name possibly be?
It's not Douglas. Spoiler alert.
Catherine Douglas. Right? Oh my goodness. Come on, dude. What's her last name? Catherine Zeta Jones.
Yes! Edman got there. Michael Douglas. So
I don't know
74,
how I
let's see.
remember that space name Zeta.
This is weird. They're 25-year difference. They're both born on
Sounds like a star more than a middle name.
both
Sorry,
born
guys.
on September 25th.
Oh, nice.
25 years apart.
Oh, that was the hook.
Wow.
It's like, baby, look, it's fate.
A quarter century. What's a quarter century between? Okay. Anyways, Michael Douglas has admitted openly in a lot of interviews that he does use male enhancements to kind of keep her satisfied at his advanced age. Although he was just in a new show on Netflix he won some awards for, The Kaminsky Method. He plays an acting teacher. I actually watched it, and he does a pretty damn good job in it. He's still got the acting chops.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not have the
It'd probably work fine with another lady. I don't know how good looking somebody is. You need to get sick of it. Right?
How long's it been? Yeah, almost 20 years. Yeah,
She should have widened that study.
Well, here we go, Ed. I mean, I don't believe what I'm seeing. You're 5 out of
right?
6 here. Question number 7. What 50-year-old award-winning Australian actor, who I also claimed to be Tanya Tare's favorite actor on a past episode, has been married to 63-year-old
Oh my God.
Deborah Lee Furness since 96?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman is correct. For those of you that didn't catch that episode, I believe that was what, episode 30,
2 episodes
30
ago.
31 or
31.
32, yeah. And we had Tanya Tare on, who's the trick golf shot artist, and I wrongly claimed that Hugh Jackman was her favorite actor of all time.
Talk about awkward pauses.
But now you take a guy like Hugh Jackman. This shows you what a good guy Hugh Jackman is.
Really? Why?
Women find him very super attractive.
Okay.
50 years old.
Yeah.
He's been with this same woman who's 63 years old now since 1996.
Yeah.
And he's been faithful. They have 2 kids. They have family. He hasn't been running around. You never hear anything bad about the guy. He just wins Emmys and Grammys and Tonys.
Yeah.
He just won he's in The Greatest Showman. He was in Van Helsing as well with what's her
we'll
name?
see what comes out.
Yeah, right. Eventually.
We'll see what comes out.
You know what?
on it.
Everything ages poorly if you just wait long enough. If you live long
You'll be
enough.
like, hey, remember when we thought Hugh Jackman was faithful
Such a good
to
guy.
his wife?
Man, he started Me Too Part
There's like
2.
30 Me Too people coming out after him.
Oh, God, let's hope not. All right, question number 8. What 69-year-old actor who was also in Chicago married 36-year-old Spanish publicist Alejandra Silva in April 2018?
I get this one. What is this again?
69-year-old actor, also in Chicago. He married a 36-year-old Spanish publicist Alejandra Silva in April 2018. I will give you a hint here. In 1999, he was voted People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive.
Oh, my God.
20 years ago.
99. Sexiest man alive. 99.
He's 69 years old now. He was in the movie Chicago with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and he married his 36-year-old publicist.
Should have watched that movie.
They had a boy in February of 2019. That's
Really?
going to be me. I'm going to be popping out kids when I'm like in my 60s, Ed. It's going to be horrible.
On purpose?
No, not on purpose. I'm going to have the Hugh Hefner coffee table book at home and just be like, this is how it's done. I mean,
jeez. I don't know, dude.
one more
he's
hint,
an
and then I
Australian
get one more.
actor?
No, he's not Australian. One more hint. In 1990,
Oh, Hugh Jackman was Australian.
in
I'm stuck on Australia today.
In 1993, People Magazine took a 1-year hiatus from Sexiest Man Alive, and they did Sexiest Couple Alive. He also won that one with his wife at the time.
In 93?
Yes. Unreal.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to... Shoot. Tom Cruise?
That was a great guess. I don't think Tom Cruise is sick. I think he might be young 60s right now. He's not 69.
Okay, I'm just trying to go for the Sexiest Man Alive.
It was.
He's in his 60s?
He's almost 70. He's 69.
Who was it?
It was Richard Gere.
Oh my God!
And he won the Sexiest Couple Alive with his wife at the time, Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, well, hey, that's a good vote.
Yeah, Richard Gere.
He's
done all right for himself.
Has looked old since I was little,
but he had that kind of silver fox look that women are going for, you know. And he still has it now. I got it. I checked out his new flame here.
Yeah,
she's a very, very attractive looking lady. Yeah, she really is. He's done all right for himself. Question number 9, Ed, you're still doing great. You've got 6 out of 8 so far. Question number 9: what 77-year-old actor married 54-year-old Ally McBeal star Callista Flockhart back in 2010?
Oh my goodness, this story sounds familiar to me.
So what do they got? 23 years between them.
Yeah.
They actually dated. They met at a Golden Globes in 2002. They've been together since then, and then they got engaged in 2009, married in 2010.
Because, I never watched Ally McBeal.
Right.
But I know they opened that show with that stupid dancing baby.
Dancing baby.
That was like a meme before memes were around, and I was just so sick of seeing that thing, and I just never watched it.
You're right. That's a good way to describe that to our listeners that might not have seen it. Yeah. That was one of the original GIFs or memes that you could have thought of.
Yeah, they played it. Oh, I got so tired of looking at that thing. I really should know this because it was a big story. I
give
think,
you one more
time.
clue here. Again, the 77-year-old actor who married 54-year-old Ally McBeal star Callista Flockhart. He is, according to Box Office Mojo, the fourth highest grossing star. The fourth highest grossing U.S. movie star. He's only behind 3 others.
Like ever? Like Kevin Costner?
Like ever. That's a great guess. Costner's a great guess. I don't think Costner's 77, though. He can't be.
Yeah, all right.
It is Harrison Ford.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Harrison Ford. I looked at that list. There was
Why didn't you say the dude from Star Wars?
Come on, man. You want me to give you every hint?
No, I'm afraid not.
Sixth on the list, I looked up this top 10. There were some interesting names. Sixth is Bradley Cooper. Oh, I'm a Bradley Cooper fan. We talked about him on the show before.
Okay, yeah.
Fifth, Tom Hanks. You can't go wrong with a Tom Hanks movie usually, right? Fourth, was who was fourth? Oh yeah, fourth was Morgan Freeman.
Oh, nice, Morg.
Third, the female on the list to the top 6, Scarlett Johansson. Number 2, Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
And number 1,
I'm gonna guess number 1 is Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, man, you guessed right.
Yay.
Samuel L. Jackson is number 1
because he was in Star Wars and he was in
he's been in a lot
bunch of stuff.
He's been in
and all these things. He's been in these huge franchises that
huge.
made a lot of money.
So, Edman, you did not get that one. So you've got what? 7 out of? No, wait. We've got 6 out of 9. Is that what we've decided? Or 7?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to go back and hit the Wayback Machine here. Question number 10, last one at game time here. 58-year-old actress Daryl Hannah married what 73-year-old Canadian singer-songwriter in August 2018?
Canadian singer-songwriter from Canada.
So that's only a 15-year difference, really. That one's not too bad. He has a very distinct voice. You can't mistake his voice.
15 years. At that age, 15 years?
It's not. It's nothing.
We might have to throw this question out.
It's nothing. I just did it because I didn't know these two were married. Really.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Neil Young. Yeah, Neil Young. So anyways, I left out some couples. I did just write down some of the couples that I did not put in the game. Amal and George Clooney, 17 years. Amber Tamblyn, David Cross, 19 years. Annette Bening, Warren Beatty, 21 years.
Oh, wow.
Bruce Willis, Emma Hemming, 23 years. Alec Baldwin and his wife Hilaria, 26. David Hasselhoff and his wife Haley Roberts, 27 years.
Hasselhoff.
How about this one? Sarah Paulson, who's in people know her from American Horror Story. She is a lesbian. She dates Holland Taylor, who was the mom in 3.5 Men. He was Charlie's mom, and she was she's 76, and Sarah Paulson's 44. 31
nice going,
years.
Holland Taylor.
Yeah, right? Because Sarah Paulson's a very attractive woman as well. Another couple that you might recognize, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi. They're 15 years apart, 60 and 45.
Nice going, Porsche.
We can't talk about May December romances without Woody Allen and Soon Yi.
Oh, jeez.
35 years.
And even after 35 years, I still feel uncomfortable talking about them.
We all do. And last but not least, Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick, 44-year age difference for Mick. He just keeps on going. He's touring. He's popping out babies all over the place.
It's funny because back in the day, they were like, what is he going to be doing, touring where he's 70? Oh.
And guess what?
He is.
Who's got the last laugh? So, Ed, May December romance, I think you got 70% on that quiz.
Yeah, not bad.
That was really impressive. And you know what? I hope maybe 10 years from now we can listen to this and say, you know what, Ed? It happened to us.
And I hope we...
Newsthing number 2. Here we go, Ed. It's good to be back, isn't it?
It is, actually.
Yeah, this is fun. This is really fun. We should have done a double header tonight. We should have done a second show, but I only brought one. So, alas, off we go.
You don't have enough cards.
I don't. These index cards are running me.
Like a book there.
Yeah, I put aside the clipboard and regular paper, and I went back to my old style of using index cards. I used to study with them in school all the time, write out answers, and then the answer on the back. When I was running trivia nights and hosting trivia nights, I used to write my questions on index cards. So I brought it out of the closet here, it's so far so good. I got it in the right order. Nothing's messed up so far. We still got a couple segments left. Anyways, news thing too, Ed. We're going to head to Westfield, New Jersey for this thing here.
All right.
Ed, man, you know I have a bit of a true crime obsession.
Yes.
A little bit,
yes.
right? I would have probably done a true crime podcast had we not done something like this. I think that would have been enjoyable for me to do some true crime stories that captivate people's imaginations and get them thinking like detectives.
We're here in Florida where all these records
are.
Maybe we could do a local type thing.
Honestly, that's funny that you say that. This was not researching this episode, but I did get in a little bit of a rabbit hole on the missing person, or not missing persons, the God, Crime Stoppers. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Crime Stoppers here in Jacksonville. And I'll tell you what, there are so many unsolved murders and cases here in this city alone. It is unreal.
Man,
It is
maybe we
unreal.
could.
We
Borrow
would
them.
never run out of stories.
Maybe we can run it in conjunction with that. Maybe we could be sponsored by that.
That would be
Crime
great.
Stoppers.
Hey, it's something to think about. I mean, maybe we could do that once
But
every 4 months.
Local and ongoing cases a little close to home. What if we got close to like solving one of the mysteries, right? And then we become the targets. What a great movie that would be.
Let's save that for a movie pitch. Yeah.
You guys listening can't see this, but Terry's index cards, there's so many of them. They look like a Stephen King novel from the side.
Not anymore, they don't. At the beginning of the show, they did. Listen, can you imagine? I was so nervous because the first time I had done one of these shows on index cards, I thought, man, if I drop these or the wind blows or the AC blows them out, I'd be picking these things up like pickup sticks. That would have been horrible.
They're not numbered either, so you'd have to guess the order.
They're not numbered. I would have had to go back and do the whole show back in my head, so I really took some chances. Well, anyways, I would have done a true crime podcast. This story is kind of a true crimey kind of story, but not really. 2014 is when the story actually starts. That's when Derek and Maria Brodus, they purchased what they thought was going to be their dream home. They bought it for $1.3 million up there in Westfield, New Jersey. It's a gorgeous 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. It's located at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. You can actually Google Map and take a look at the house there if you dare.
Doesn't sound ominous, though.
It doesn't. But shortly after buying the home, the couple the couple does have 3 children. They started receiving some eerie, threatening type letters from an anonymous harasser who calls himself the Watcher.
Oh, did any of them play Little League?
Saw your kid on ESPN
Maybe
the
it's
other
another
day.
scandal or
I
something.
think he's 15. Well, anyways, the Watcher claims in these letters to the Brodus couple here that the house was his family's for decades and that he was put in charge of watching over it, waiting for its, quote, second coming.
Sounds like a tedious job.
After the family started moving in, more letters arrived. I am pleased to know your names now and the names of the young bloods you have brought to me. That is laughing. This would not be freaky to you in any way.
Well, if it was happening, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, just calling kids young bloods is just kind of funny.
So then he continued in some of the other letters. Who has the bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom. Then I can plan better.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness, right? Lastly, do you know what's in the walls? Why are you here? You have children. I have seen 3 so far. Or there are 3 that I can count.
Wow.
Why are you here? I will find out.
What's in the wall?
Yeah, right. I know.
What's that mean?
So anyways, the Brodus family did not move in when they started getting these letters 5 years ago. They weren't sure. Now, I could not find if they were actually in this whole time able to rent it out or if people were too freaked out because they were actually letting people know the reason that they were trying to rent this out.
Right.
They did, however, sue the former owners in 2015, claiming they knew about the Watcher but failed to disclose it to them.
You're kidding
I'm
me.
not. That lawsuit, apparently it was eventually dismissed.
Yeah.
I don't know. But can you imagine if this other couple that had owned the house was getting the letters and they're like, we got to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Don't tell them about these letters.
How long did the other couple actually live in the house, occupy it?
That is a good question. I could not find that in my notes. I think it was as long as we've been off the air at the News Freaks, maybe 7 or 8 weeks, and they said we're out of here.
Now, is the Watcher only communicating through writing
As
letters?
of right now, yeah, no calls, no knocks on the door or anything.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
heartening.
been letters. So the Brodys actually they made enemies in their neighborhood after they proposed to tear down the property, thinking it was haunted or that there was a psychopath trying to get at them.
Yeah.
They were going to build 2 new homes on the lot. Well, it angered neighbors. They hired private investigators and police who were going to the neighbors asking accusatory questions. Through the years, they put it back on the market in 2016 and 2017. No takers. They had to live with Maria's parents during this time because obviously nobody wanted to buy the house. Well, apparently the nightmare has ended for this couple. They sold the house earlier this month, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They took about $450,000 loss.
Oh my goodness.
They bought it for like 1.4 and they sold it for less than $1 million.
Wow, what a steal of a buy.
I mean, again, who knows? I mean, was this some teenage kid messing with this couple, or was it some like you don't really know?
It's probably the person who ended up buying the house.
Imagine they're trying to get the price down. That's good. Well, maybe it's not all bad for the couple. Netflix did purchase the movie rights to this story back in December, and these new events, them able to sell the house to new owners, maybe unsuspecting. It's already got me thinking sequel.
Watcher 2, nothing happens again. I mean, did anything occur after the letter? They just wrote letters and that was it.
That was it. But I mean, it scared them enough to not live in their dream house.
Now, do you know, were the letters just stuck in a mailbox, or did they come from somewhere?
They came from somewhere. They were mailed with no return address.
Okay.
So I don't know if they tracked. I mean, they had investigators on this, private investigators. They had the police on it for years.
Yeah.
They couldn't find where these letters were coming from. I don't know what kind of analysis they were doing. I mean, nothing truly had happened, but sometimes I think the fear of not knowing is worse than something happening.
Well, if somebody saw how many kids that you have there, that's really
and
crazy.
Actually, you can go online and check this story out if you want to learn more, listeners, but excuse me, there was one letter that he wrote where he said, "Oh, I saw you looking out the windows the last few days trying to find me. Telescopes and binoculars are great inventions."
Oh, nice.
Something to that effect.
I mean, not nice, but I mean, nice as far as the creepy aspect.
Right.
goes.
So it really, I mean, nothing happened. But in my mind, I would rather hear someone trying to break in or something like that than this kind of menacing background thing messing with your brain.
Right. I wonder, I mean, maybe he could have tested one window at a time and see if he got anything out of that, right? And then go to another window, because then you could have maybe pinpointed a little bit.
So they just sold it now 2 or 3 weeks ago. I would love to see if we can't get that new couple on the News Freaks and talk about A, if they're going to move right in and stay there. B, if they're hoping they get some correspondence.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
C, if it's them and they wanted to lower the price. And if it is, we won't tell anyone. I mean, we only have thousands of listeners now, so it's not going to get to anyone.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But anyways.
Hey, maybe we can get the Watcher on the show.
Oh, if the Watcher, for some reason, listens to the News Freaks, we'd love to get some correspondence from you. 904-300-2475. Write us something. I mean, we're alone in the studio right now.
Yeah, the third chair belongs to the Watch. He's like, I'm watching you guys. We're like, come on in. We need another host of the show.
He's like, yeah, nah, not interested.
Like, are you funny?
I mean, the letters I've seen so far, the comedic chops aren't quite there yet. All right, Edman, off we go. Random facts time.
Random facts.
Aside from it being my mom's birthday, as I mentioned at the open, August 28th, happy birthday, Mama. It also was the date that a bunch of stuff happened on, so we'll get right into it here. 1922, the first radio commercial aired ever. That was on WEAF in New York City.
Yeah.
It cost Queensboro Corporation $50 for 50 minutes.
And the host was Larry King.
To promote apartment sales in Jackson Heights. That was what the first commercial was about.
Nice.
You would have never guessed that.
No.
And now, imagine if they, saw the prices that a ad spot would get nowadays, or even like a ad spot during a popular show or Super Bowl or something like that. You wouldn't be getting so many people moving into Jackson Heights. I doubt. I don't know.
Why did the Watcher go there, huh? Or the prices?
He could have some success there. I really want the motivation on this guy. Yeah, he's probably just like messing with his buddies. He's probably getting
a punk.
Getting baked at college.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
like, you know what, dudes, this is going to be awesome.
He's outside smoking a cigarette. He sees a person with binoculars like, oh, time for another letter.
But I'll be honest, that would, that's
freaky,
out.
dude.
It would creep me out. 1955, August 28th, 14-year-old Emmett Till abducted and lynched in Money, Mississippi after flirting with or whistling at a 21-year-old white woman named Carolyn Bryan. Oh. Yeah, this became and still is an iconic case of the civil rights movement, and it was shocking for so many reasons, not least of which was the men accused were found not guilty of the crime a month later by an all-white jury there in Money, Mississippi. And then a year after that, 1956, the two men, they admitted to Look magazine that they had kidnapped and killed the boy because they knew double jeopardy. They were safe.
I thought that only applied to. Is double jeopardy like forever? I thought that was
once you are acquitted of murder in a trial, you cannot be tried
even if
again.
new evidence comes up.
Yeah,
I mean, I should know that, right? It's
that
the
something?
law, but
well, anyways, I just actually read this book maybe sometime within this year. I'd say with the last 4 to 6 months. If you want to read some more on it, it's a fascinating read. It's The Blood of Emmett Till. It's by Timothy B. Tyson, and it really goes in depth into just how this particular incident kind of transformed what was to come in the decade and then years to come
and to
after
feel safe admitting it also is
right. It was really and again we look back on it and we think it's so long ago, but that was 1955. Which is, I mean, Larry King is
on wife number 3 or something.
Oh, cool. Random fact. Next one, we're going 1996. Britain's Prince Charles and Princess Diana. They were divorced after 15 years of marriage, Ed. This is weird that this happened on my mom's birthday because, as I told you, she was a huge Princess Diana was devastated when she lost her life. And this is actually the incident, the car crash in Paris, happened just 2 years after this. Charles was 13 years older than Diana, so another semi-May December relationship. Both Charles
July December.
Kind of. I didn't know this. Both Charles and Diana were unfaithful throughout the whole 14-year marriage. Did you know that?
No.
Charles still had carried a torch for his old girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw some Inquirer stories about that.
Oh, yeah. They were all over the tabloids. I remember that. And Diana famously, it was a famous quote she said of their relationship. There were 3 of us in the marriage, so it was a bit crowded. So apparently he was pining for her for a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas Diana was I thought, a very, very beautiful woman, and Charles looked much like most of the princes look like. Very awkward.
Maybe it was funny.
He could make it. Well, I'm sure it was really funny when he
wiggles his ears for her, right?
When he was talking about his ex-girlfriend and how much better she was than Diana. Like I mentioned before, in 2 years after they separated was when that accident happened in Paris where she lost her life. Last but not least on the random facts front today, Ed, 2003. This has been described as, quote, one of the most complicated and bizarre crimes, in the annals of the FBI.
Okay.
And you'll know this. I'm sure our listeners will know this one too. It was the pizza delivery man Brian Wells, who died after an explosive collar detonated while he was surrounded by police in Erie, Pennsylvania. You remember this story?
What? No.
Yeah, it was subject to the May 2018 Netflix documentary. So if you got Netflix and you haven't seen it, check it out. This is intriguing and just bizarre as hell. It's called Evil Genius, the true story of America's most diabolical bank heist. And almost just as much as I love true crime stories, I love a good heist story. I'm very intrigued by these heist stories, but not ones where a guy gets a bomb put around his neck and it goes off.
Right.
Anyways, there's too much going on with this story for me to give you the whole rundown. It would take another hour.
Just tell us how the bomb got there.
I will. But for those of our listeners not familiar with the case, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version here. Brian Wells, he had worked delivering pizza for Mamma Mia's Pizzeria there in Erie, Pennsylvania for about 10 years prior to this incident. He got a call to deliver 2 pizzas to 8631 Peach Street, which was only a few miles away from the pizza shop there. Now, FBI investigators, this is what kind of adds an element of intrigue to the story, I think.
Okay.
They, after their investigations were complete, they believe that Brian Wells was a willing participant in this plot.
Okay.
While his family totally contradicts this. They say he was not part of this. He did not know what was going on.
Right.
There are some things, as you'll see in the documentary, if you care to watch it or read the book as well, Pizza Bomber. There was a famous book about it. Investigators concede that Wells probably did believe the bomb they were going to place around his neck was fake, but it was clearly not. Here's what he was given. He was given a homemade shotgun when they put this bomb around his neck, this collar around his neck. It looked like kind of a weird-shaped cane, but it was like a sophisticated homemade shotgun. And also 9 pages of handwritten instructions that had this kind of bizarre scavenger hunt on it.
Okay.
It told him he had to go to this place first and this place first. Well, he was instructed first to tell the police or the bank tellers or whoever might ask that 3 black men had placed the bomb on him and were holding him hostage. Well, it wasn't 3 black men at all. It was 2 acquaintances of his, Kenneth Barnes and Marjorie Deal Armstrong, who are so insane, you can't even believe it. You won't believe some of the twists and turns in this story.
Okay.
I wish I had time to give them all, but I don't. Well, Wells was told to drive his Geo Metro, his pizza delivery vehicle, his Geo Metro, to the PNC Bank on Peach Street and demand $250,000. Well, there is surveillance footage of this, the video from inside the bank, and Wells kind of looks pretty calm. In fact, he actually took a lollipop, took the wrapper off, and just popped it in his mouth.
Jeez.
Like, and he does have he at this point has this collar strapped to him. On the way, well, the teller said, "I can't get you all that in the vault in this short of time." Gave him a bag with $8,702 in it.
I mean, that'll take you a bit.
I mean, well, yeah, it would take a bit. So anyways, Wells left the bank at 2:38 with that $8,702 in it. Cops arrested him and handcuffed him about 15 minutes later and sat him on the street because they didn't want to get close to the guy.
Yeah.
They were waiting for the bomb squad. And as they were waiting, about 3 minutes before the bomb squad got there, the thing detonated and it blew a hole through his chest. That was at 3:18.
Yeah.
Now, the whole incident was actually being shown live on an Erie-based ABC News affiliate.
Geez.
Yeah, there is video circulating because it kind of leaked. It didn't actually show the point of impact when the bomb actually detonated, but there were other angles that did, and those got leaked as will happen on the internet.
Yeah.
But the scavenger hunt, it was the papers that he had, the 9 pages, were him to drive around town looking for these keys that would unlock this bomb collar from him.
Yeah.
Well, investigators took the notes afterwards and went back and did it, and that there was no way possible in the time allotted that he would have been able to physically.
Were there actually
get them.
keys there?
There were in, I believe, 2 of the instances, but maybe not a third.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there was. And there were other instructions at these checkpoints.
Yeah.
It was very, very bizarre. Check out the Netflix doc, listeners, if you want to see the rest of the crazy details of this story. It really is nuts. The alleged motive is nuts on this one, and the prior crimes that these 2 went through. I mean, just nuts. Just absolutely nuts. And know what else is nuts, Ed?
What?
We did it.
We got through.
We did it.
Oh, my goodness.
The index cards have come to an end. We're back. We are back, baby. We've done it. It's been 0 days since our last show. We're like those OSHA safety posters. Right. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it out there. We're going to have a weekend off, depending on maybe we get shut in because of Dorian, and maybe we can just do a hurricane podcast. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Because I thought you were headed out of town this weekend, but apparently you're going to stay. So we're going to try. We're going to really, really try to make a concerted effort. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, which is,
So I didn't want to tell you this, but I was thinking.
Ed, you're leaving the show?
Of the days that maybe if you couldn't make it,
right, that
I would replace you with a robot.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how that would work yet, because I don't know if there's a robot that could do the show.
Was there maybe you could use a speak and spell if you could get one on eBay? What other robots are capable? What was that robot that Asimo? Wasn't there an Asimo robot? Asimov or Asimo?
You know what we could do? We could get you to just say a bunch of words, and I'll put it make a soundboard.
That would be great. So you write,
and then you're virtually here.
You write the episode, and then I will just comment with kind of a Stephen Hawking wheelchair kind of computer setup.
I mean, I say something fairly innocuous, maybe, and you're like, ha ha, that's so funny.
You're like, Terry, man, we're having a great show, aren't we?
Best show ever.
Well, guys, again, we thank you for hanging in there with us. Thanks for sticking with us. I I felt like we didn't miss a beat. It was like right back on the horse. We're gonna be back with some exciting stuff, as I mentioned earlier. Some great guests, some great interviews. So stick with us. Tell your friends and family and ex-girlfriends, new girlfriends, ex-husbands.
Young girlfriends.
Well, yeah, especially your young
half your age plus
your legal
7.
your legal young girlfriends. But yeah, folks, we're gonna be back very, very soon. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Be safe out there. For the Ad Man, I'm Terry. See ya.